Good evening, everyone. This is Carl Guyton, freshman class of 98. We're going to give it a few minutes for everyone to get situated and into the Zoom meeting. So we will start in about 3 minutes. Thank you. No, 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 no.
All right, good evening, SBIans. We are so glad to have you. I am Tiffany Charles, an incoming class of 1999, and we're going to jump right into today's program and welcome Dr. Shante Friday Stroud, Dean of the School of Business and Industry, to share our very first town hall meeting with the State of SBI update.
All right. Well, thank you, Tiffany. I will take over from here with sharing the screen, if that's all right with you all.
Go right ahead.
Stop sharing now so that you can start.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. As was said, I am Dr. Shante Friday Stroud. If you do not know me, the Dean of the School of Business and Industry, and I am happy to be here with you this evening for our SBI Alumni Town Hall. You will notice throughout my presentation, you will see a QR code, and at any time you feel like clicking on it and making a donation to SBI, please feel free to do so. So tonight, we will be speaking about the kind of overview of higher education in the state of Florida, and more specifically, the State University System of Florida's Board of Governors performance-based funding model. as that is the key driver for us here within the state of Florida, and our performance and our funding that goes with that. Next, I will be sharing information about facts on FAMU. And lastly, I'll close out with facts about SBI. So to start with the performance funding metrics. So the university is a part of the 12 universities in the state of Florida university system. And with that, all of us have to operate in this performance-based funding model. This performance-based funding model has, it says 10, but really 11 metrics, as 9 has a 9A and a 9B. And all universities have to put a certain amount into the pot. And if you do not meet the minimum score, then you stand to lose the money that you put in from your base budget. And then depending on your performance on the model, you have the opportunity to gain new dollars, but those new dollars are not recurring dollars. They are actually one-time dollars. So here you can see how FAMU has fared over the last couple of years, 2022 and 2023. Thankfully, we have been over the minimum that is needed. And right now we have a goal to get to 85 points. And so as you can see that we were in 2022 at 73 points. Last year, we finished out 2023 at 78 points, and we are marching toward trying to get to 85 points in this model. By maintaining an 85 score in this model will ensure that we continue to gain additional funding from the university year over year. But I want to go through the metrics because they have significantly changed the landscape in which we have to operate in, and more specifically, how SBI has operated since many of you, and including myself, since we were in school as students. So the first metric has to do with the percent of graduates, bachelor's graduates employed and or continuing their graduate education 1 year after graduation. The second one has to do with the median wages of bachelor's graduates employed full-time after 1 year. And one might look and say that 37,000 is low, but you have to recognize that this is an average of all students that graduate, whether they are graduating from business or whether they are graduating from College of Education or music or the arts or some or other majors where the salaries may not be as high. And so thankfully, the system has been able to catch up and to be able to assess salaries for graduates even outside of the state of Florida. The third metric has to do with the net tuition and fees per 120 credit hours. And we were below in a negative at a negative 630,000. So it was below what anybody else was doing. But that is because during the 2022 academic year, we had federal funds that were used to that were given to students to help offset their debts to the university. And so that's why that is in a negative. The fourth metric is the FTIC 4-year graduation rate. And that FTIC stands for first time in college students and the 4-year graduation rate. Now, this is what has been the significant game changer. The rest of the country operates on the 6-year graduation rate. But here, for the public universities that are a part of the state university system, we have to operate on the 4-year graduation rate. And as you can see, we have moved up from 27% up to 28%. But you can see that the SUS average is 61.2%. And a large part of this has to do with, unfortunately, our students come from households, or the majority of our students come from households less than $50,000. And so in some cases, students have to either stop out or not finish because, or not finish in 4 years because they are having to acquire the funds necessary to stay enrolled. And that is not as much of a case for the students at other state universities in Florida. The fifth metric is the academic progress rate, and that is the number of freshmen that come back their sophomore year with a GPA of a 2.0 or higher. And so this is why the university has put in a lot of wraparound services to ensure that students have every opportunity to excel when they get here. The sixth metric has to do with the percentage of bachelor's degrees awarded within programs of strategic emphasis. So the Board of Governors sets forth degree programs that they consider to be high demand jobs in the state of Florida. And so with that, they designate those degree programs to be in areas of strategic emphasis. The only programs right now in SBI that fall in that are accounting and supply chain management. The seventh metric has to do with the university's access rate, and that is the percentage of undergraduates with a Pell Grant. And so again, that speaks to the fact that over half of our students come to the university from households or households with incomes less than $50,000. The next one is number 8, the percentage of graduate degrees awarded within the programs of strategic emphasis. And for us in SBI, the only degree program that we have right now is our Master's of Science in Supply Chain Management. And I say right now because the Board of Governors is looking at making some changes to the degree programs that are included in the areas of strategic emphasis, but we do not know what those changes are as of yet. The ninth metric, 9A, is a Board of Governors choice metric, which is the FCS stands for Florida College System. And so that is what was known as the community college system, but now is the state college system. So students that come from any of the Florida state college systems with an AA degree and they come to FAMU, they assess us based on their 3-year graduation rate. And that's a new metric, and we have been plugging at above 60% for that. The second one for B choice metric for the BOG is FTIC Pell recipient 6-year graduation rate. And so this is where they only look at the 6-year graduation rate for Pell eligible students. So not our entire student population, but only those students that are Pell eligible. And then the 10th metric is the number of bachelor's degrees awarded to transfers with AA degrees from the Florida college system. And so again, as you can see, for us, that's a new metric, and we are on an upward trajectory, but these are scores that we have to monitor on a regular basis, and it causes us to change a lot of the ways that we operate, because the university, again, is assessed on how well we perform against this model, but more importantly, how much funding we, one, keep and or gain is dependent on how we perform in this model. So to that end, the university has a strategic plan. The 2022-2027 strategic plan is called Boldly Striking, and we are using that as our roadmap to march to the top 100 and to R1 research status by the Carnegie classification system. So to date, we are ranked number 103 by U.S. News and World Report. That makes us the highest ranked public HBCU, and we have held that ranking for 4 years in a row. We are in the top 25 in social mobility. Social mobility is a measure or indicator of students being able to, how they come in the door from their socioeconomic background, and then how quickly we're able to get them out and gainfully employed, making in many cases more than what their household income was. And this is top 25 across the nation amongst public universities. And then we are the #1 HBCU for research and development by the National Science Foundation. And again, FAMU is trying to move to R1 status, which really has to do with how we produce in the area of sponsored research, as well as publications and everything that helps move, I would say, the innovation and research platform of the university. So the 5 strategic priorities of the Boldly Striking Plan are student success, academic excellence, leveraging the brand, long-term fiscal health and sustainability, and organizational effectiveness and transformation. And I would just remind you that that QR code that you see there, anytime you feel like clicking on it and making a donation to SBI, please do so. So here are the metrics that are in the university's strategic plan, Boldly Striking. And as you will see, our metrics for our strategic plan really align closely with the Board of Governors' performance-based funding metrics, as well as the metrics that are used to determine R1 status. And so you can see the academic progress rate, which I spoke about. You can see for FTIC, the 4-year graduation rate, the FTIC Pell recipient 6-year graduation rate. Again, that is not our entire student population. That's only FTICs that came in that were Pell eligible. Percentage of bachelor's graduates enrolled or employed after 1 year of graduation, median wage of those graduates, average cost to a student. Again, you can see some of the ones that are not on the Board of Governors performance funding metric are the professional licensure exam scores relative to benchmarks. We are not in that, as our bachelor students do not have to take licensure exams. But then we look at the number of research doctorate degrees awarded, what our head count enrollment is, and what our research and development expenditures are, one of the indicators that will help us move to R1 status. And then 2 around giving, which has to do with, number 1, our annual giving, and then our endowment value. So now I'll start speaking about SBI and some of our facts. So just in case you didn't know, within the School of Business and Industry, we actually offer 7 bachelor's degrees and 4 master's degrees. Those 7 bachelor's degrees are accounting, business administration. Within economics, we offer the Bachelor's of Arts in Economics, the Bachelor's of Science in Economics, and the Bachelor's of Science in Economics with a business minor. We also offer a facilities management degree and a supply chain management degree. At the graduate level, we have the MBA. And within the MBA, we have the professional MBA and the 1-year MBA. We have our Master's of Science in Supply Chain Management. And then we have the joint MBA, Master's in Supply Chain Management, where students can stay 1 extra year after the MBA, and they will walk out with both the MBA and the Master's of Science in Supply Chain Management. And we also have the PharmD MBA. And this program is predicated on the students that are enrolled in the PharmD program in the College of Pharmacy, Pharmaceutical Sciences, and Institute of Public Health, and their desire to actually stay almost a year and a half to complete the MBA. And you can see here on this table the internships that are required for our degree programs and what our average enrollment tends to be, and our annual graduation rate in those degree programs. Of course, our facilities management program and our supply chain management programs are some of our newer programs. And you will see that we still have FORM alive and well. I have a picture here of our forum back on March 30th of this year, where we had our very own Eric Gilman, who's an SBI alum, who is now a partner with PwC. He was here for our forum back in March. So again, just wanted to let everybody know that forum is alive and well. Today, we actually had our first in-person forum in Lee Hall. I have a picture here of the dress code schematic for males and females within SBI. We still use the question formulation process that Dr. Ashley, God bless his soul, that he created. We still make sure that we train our students in written and oratorical and interpersonal communication skills that are reinforced in our 14 student-run companies. The roundtable is still alive and well. In fact, we'll have a roundtable forum next Thursday. Our students are able to get the Bloomberg certification. We have advanced Excel training for them. We have infused business analytics throughout our curricula. So students are learning Tableau, Power BI, R, Python, Alteryx, and others. We actually even have a session on Fridays for Alteryx specifically for any student who wants to take it, even outside of their accounting classes. We have had so much demand with companies that want to come to SBI that we now have Friday Finance Lunch and Learns, Friday Supply Chain Management Lunch and Learns. We offer financial wellness education for our students. We have financial education ambassadors that share financial education trainings, not only with our students in SBI, but across campus and throughout the community. We have many what we call COSB, which are clubs and organizations related to SBI. So some of you all may know CFO, Chief Financiers Organization. We have now Scholars of Finance. We have NABA, AK-Psi, the Entrepreneurship Club. We have Blackstone Launchpad. We have Esports Club, and we have Club Real Estate and Leadership. And the motto that I share with the students is no academic pain, no professional gain. I let them know that the program is rigorous and we expect them to rise to the occasion. And so that's going to come with a little pain. We all had some moans and groans when we were going through SBI, as they will as well, but they'll be better for it on the backside. Just to give you an example of the companies that are coming down and that are our forum guests, I actually book forums out a year in advance. So we are completely full for our 2023-2024 forum list. I am actually starting to book into fall 2020, fall 24 already, but you can see many of the companies that actually come and speak to our students through our forum series. And then we actually instituted an SBI Student Entrepreneurship Forum. The students asked for this. They wanted to have a forum, which was really interesting because I was like, oh, you all want to have an extra forum? And they did. They wanted to have a forum where they can showcase they can showcase their own companies. Many of our students are entrepreneurs while they are students. And so this gives them an opportunity to showcase their businesses. Some of the ways that companies are strategically partnering with us is they are providing funding for recruitment and retention scholarships, of course, internships and full-time preparation, support, and placement. That means they're helping with resume writing, mock interviews, LinkedIn sessions, and things like that. They are also doing case studies. We have so many case studies that we have to usually in May cut off the number of case studies that we have because faculty have to have time to prep and to make sure that the students are ready for those case competitions. We have an SBI Living Learning Community where those students live together on one floor in Porkenhorn Village, and they take 3 of their SBI classes together, and they have study groups. We also have other learning communities so that for students who are not in the living learning community, they have an opportunity to be engaged in various activities. We have field trips and site visits. So the picture that you see here is actually where our freshman LLC took a field trip to Deutsche Bank back in March. And the Deutsche Bank executives were so excited with this trip that this year they are going to sponsor a second bus. So we paid for these students to go over for the day, and Deutsche Bank is going to add to that and again pay for a second bus of students to be able to attend this event. Many of the companies are offering exploratory programs for our freshmen and sophomores and juniors. And then we have other various student success initiatives that we do to make sure that our students have access to all the resources that they need to be successful. We have some faculty development going on. I will say I'm very thankful and appreciative to our alumni who are at Accenture. They are going to be providing some AI training for the faculty as well as for the students. So we're really, really looking forward to that. We do have other opportunities, but this is one that's coming up that'll be starting in about a week or so. And faculty are working and doing research opportunities, and we're working to revitalize the faculty internship opportunities across all disciplines. And we do a lot of partnering on STEM initiatives, not only within the School of Business and Industry, but also across the campus. So one of the innovative programs that we have with one of our career partners is Crow, who is one of the top 8 accounting firms now. And that is Crow on Campus. Crow started out with us maybe about 4 or 5 years ago now. And they started out with doing a tax internship actually here on campus. So in addition to having the students that actually go out to other locations for internships, because we have this 4-year graduation metric that we have to meet, Crow said, well, one of the ways that they could help is that they would send some of their managers to actually run a tax internship right here on our campus. And so they started out doing that, and we had a room that could accommodate 10 interns. We had to move them because they moved up to having over 20 interns. And this allows the students to work while also taking classes, because they're able to work at in the evenings, in between classes, and on the weekends while being right here on campus. That program has been so successful. Well, let me say first, we were the first HBCU that Crow did this program with. And that program has been so successful that now we have moved beyond just the spring internships during tax season to now having internships pretty much around the clock, the calendar. And they have included now audit as well as advisory services. Another example of an innovative partnership we have is with Cal, with their Wakati brand. As I said, we do quite a few case studies with companies, and our students get really, really engaged with that. And so with this product, and I would suggest if you have natural hair, this is a great product. But I use it on my hair as well as my daughter's hair. But it really helps with detangling and natural hair care, natural hair styles. So give it a try. But with this product, our students worked on case study competitions with them, and they were so impressed with the work of our students that they actually, you can see on their website, they have a story about their partnership with us here at FAMU and SBI specifically. But if you see their hair care products, which you can find in Walmart, Target, online, and a host of other places, you will see that the FAMU logo, they thought so highly of our partnership that our FAMU logo is actually on their product. Just to give you an update on where we are with our corporate partners, and we call them career partners because they're not all corporate. We have federal partners, nonprofit partners. But pre-2020, we were managing about 100 partners. Today, we are managing over 200 that come to campus in an academic year. So between the fall, spring, and the summer, we have over 200 partners that come to campus and have various campus engagements with our students. We have over 400 career partners who are active in our Rattlers BizLink system, which is where they're able to post career opportunities. And we have over 10,000 posted full-time internship and co-op opportunities. I always tell students, we have way more opportunities than we have students to fill them. So if they're doing what they're supposed to do, they will walk out of here with multiple job offers and across a host of industries. And so I just also need to say that unlike back in the day when many of you all were here, when there was a full office suite of career development, or as it was called back in the day, the internship office, due to some of the budgetary cuts that we've had over the years, we have one Dr. Iris Young Clark who manages that. And I was able to get enough resources to hire someone to help her this summer. And so just know that she works very hard along with the SBI administrative team and our faculty to ensure that these companies have every opportunity to access our students. So much so that we have added new activities beyond our traditional PD, as you all know it, now called professional leadership development, given that Dean Mobley always envisioned it as a leadership development program. We have had to add tabling sessions. We've had to add SBI showcases. And we initially just had one SBI showcase every semester in the fall and spring semester. This semester, to manage the demand, we have 3 SBI showcases in the fall and 3 SBI showcases planned for the spring. As I mentioned earlier, we have had to add Friday finance and supply chain lunch and learn sessions. And then we have also added weekend leadership summits. So sometimes we'd be surprised, but the students, they are here on Fridays and even on Saturdays with the companies that come in and host leadership summits for them. So I have to thank our Dr. Young Clark and the entire SBI faculty and staff for all of these engagements. Our financial lunch and learns are run by Dr. Samik March Dallas and Inga Daniels Holler, and our supply chain management lunch and learns are managed by Dr. Angela Tidwell. And so we, again, we have had to add more programming to ensure that companies have access to our students, but also making sure that we're not taking them so far away from the classes that they are not able to perform well in their courses. So again, just to let you know, and this information is published on our website, but we have had to, with the demand, we have to make sure that we are taking care of those career partners that have been with us for a while and that are making significant investments in SBI and in our students. And so when we have new partners come on, we work to try to move them up through this funnel to ensure that they have opportunities to engage with our students as well. And I mentioned about case studies. We have so many case studies that literally we have to, in the summer, say, okay, we have to kind of take this is the last or that we can do because we have so many. And the great thing about these case studies is that they are done outside of the classroom environment. So the students who are working on these cases, they are choosing to spend time over and above their classroom assignments to work on these cases. But the great payoff for them is that many of these cases come with scholarship prizes attached to them. Several of the students, we had to spread out their case study winnings over 2 semesters because we cannot award scholarships that exceed their cost of attendance. So we have had to space it out, but we have some go-getter students that are out there doing some great things. Some of those companies that are hosting case competitions are now on our SBI Big Board. So I'm not sure if you all have been to SBI lately, but the original Big Board that Dean Mobley started has been finished, and I am coming up on one side. And that final plaque, actually, we already know who that is. We're just trying to wait for them to settle in on their design before that plaque is fabricated and installed. And then I will be going up on the other side before we will have to move to another wall for the SBI Big Board 2.0. So we have been very thankful and appreciative for the companies as well as the alumni, because one of the things that you will notice is that over the last few years, we have actually had more alumni making their donations to be on the big board. And so I'll just tell you now, but to get up there, it is $100,000 endowed for scholarships for SBI students. And as I tell people, you know, again, I'm old and old school. We take the good old fashioned layaway plan. So you don't have to do it all in one fell swoop. You can actually pay it on layaway. But we also have, as a part of our supply chain management Masters of Science program, we have a 6-month research project. And so some of the companies that we have done research projects with are the Department of Defense Army Research Laboratory, International Paper, Ford, and Victoria's Secrets coming on board. So we're very thankful and appreciative for the companies that are partnering with us to ensure that our students have real world experiences around supply chain management. And again, Dr. Angela Tidwell manages those. And I am, wanting to share with you all our SBI scorecard. So the university actually does a scorecard for every school and college within the university. And so here with our SBI scorecard, you can see where we are and how we fare. Much of this information is actually on the website, but just know that we actually are accountable, right, to the metrics that the university is held accountable to, and that drills down to each school and college, and SBI is no different. So I'm kind of bring this thing in for a landing now. Examples of ways that you can support SBI's continuous improvement efforts. Again, we have a lot going on here in SBI, but as we all know, there are always ways that we can continuously improve. And so you want to know some of the ways that you can support our continuous improvement efforts at SBI. You can set up recurring donations to SBI's specific account, which is 356. You can start an endowment for SBI with as little as $26,500. That too can be done on layaway. You can get on the SBI Big Board by endowing at least $100,000 in scholarships for SBI students. And we actually ask people to donate at least $115,000. That will cover all the incoming gift fees and allow for dollars to be available to award for scholarships immediately, because it does take time for the interest earnings to accrue, because it is the interest earnings that are used to award the scholarships. The corpus of the endowment remains and is not spent. But if you don't want to do things from a monetary perspective, we hope you will as SBIs, because I know you all are doing well. Don't forget to click on the QR code there to make your donation. But you can also work with or partner with our COSBs, our clubs and organizations that are related to SBI, and mentor students. Those student clubs and organizations are always looking for career partners that will support their efforts. Those efforts include critiquing their resumes, hosting mock interview sessions, and hosting LinkedIn profile help sessions, right? All the things that we know are going to help our students be successful as they work to land lucrative internship and full-time placement offers. So my question to you is, how will you contribute to SBI's success? And if you all didn't know, SBI was established in 1974 by our founding dean, Dr. Sybil Collins Mobley. And so starting in January, we will be celebrating SBI's 50th anniversary. We plan to celebrate throughout the year. So you can be on the lookout for ways that you can join us in our celebration. And I also want to say a huge, huge, huge thank you to our SBI alumni and friends who continue to support SBI. If you saw on the scorecard, we are raising quite a bit of money to support our students, and we could not do it without you. So we are very thankful and appreciative for every dollar that you give, it does not have to be big. It could be $10 a month. Give up a Starbucks drink and help a kid out in the School of Business and Industry. And I probably should say not a kid, but a young adult in the School of Business and Industry, as they are young adults. So with that, I hope that I have given you a lot of reasons to be proud of all the things that are happening within the School of Business and Industry. And thank you all for joining in and participating to learn more about what's happening on the Hill in the School of Business and Industry. And I'm gonna leave this up for a few minutes just so people can, click on that QR code. So yes.
Yeah. So what do you want us to do? Donate? You didn't tell us about that. We should give of our time, talent, and treasure. So thank you so much for sharing all those wonderful updates, just to know what's going on at FAMU in SBI and the great progress that's being made. We're excited about that. I didn't know if you wanted to invite Mr. Johnson to just greet us briefly. We know we have some questions that people submitted and we want to get to those, but while we're talking about ways to give and to support, we wanted to extend that invitation.
And I will say, I will bring on one of my classmates, President Curtis Johnson, who is our president of our National Alumni Association. And as he and I kind of work at this together, we are definitely wanting to support the NAA. But I will also say, you got to make sure you break off a piece for SBI, because it's really the dollars that come into the FAMU Foundation for SBI that count towards the alumni giving and the alumni giving rate. That has been the metric that U.S. News and World Reports uses in the rankings. So support both the National Alumni Association and the School of Business and Industry through the FAMU Foundation. And again, our account number is 356. So with that, I will stop sharing here, and I will bring on my good friend, Mr. Curtis Johnson.
Well, thank you, Dr. Friday Stroud. It's an honor to be here. It's always a privilege to be among the SBI family. 1990-92 graduate with the MBA, and just honored to be a part of this great thing that we call SBI. And I want to take a moment, because some of you may know, some may not know, that I am the 19th president of the National Alumni Association. And so Dr. Friday Stroud and I work closely together to continue student success. And I'm glad she shared the performance matrix, because that's something that, as I'm out across the country, I'm really helping alumni to understand exactly what that is, how it impacts, particularly when it comes to, the right balance when it comes to our students at Florida A&M University. And it's important to understand that, because with any business model, you need to maximize the performance of that and the likelihood of outcomes. And so that's something that we work very, very hard at. We may have seen some shifts in some of the recruitment patterns as a result, but nonetheless, we're going to find talented students at Florida University. And it's my mission as a National Alumni Association president to make sure we fill those gaps, that there's students that I get a constant email from Dr. Hudson saying this student needs $500 to register for the next semester. They need $1,000, $1,500, etc. And your contributions to this 501c3 organization known as the National Alumni Association allows us to fill those gaps on an immediate need. We also give an annual scholarship to all students at Florida University, ranking from freshman through senior. That's an application process. For the second year in a row, we have contributed $150,000 to current and freshman students income into Florida University. So we're very proud of that as we continue to grow our endowment through life membership. And so I just want to leave you with that every School of Business person understands annuities and life endowment. And so that is what we do when you take your life membership. Those funds are restricted. They're bundled with all of the other life members, and that lives on in perpetuity. And we use the interest off of that money to fund our scholarship programs. And a that funds operations to the National Alumni Association. So there are a couple of different ways that you can contribute to the National Alumni Association. More than honored to share those with you. If you visit FAMUNAA.org, there's more information there of our Save Our Student program, as well as our actual National Alumni Scholarship program. And then more importantly, and I told Dr. Friday Stroud this, that we're growing the base of the National Alumni Association. We're about halfway there. I want to get to 10,000 actual paid members of the National Alumni Association, which puts us on a totally different trajectory of budget, totally different trajectory of actual power inside the state of Florida. When we can boast that we have 10,000 paid members to any governmental legislative body, it begins to capture that attention. We need to get there. So I'm going to encourage you to find your way to get membership in the National Alumni Association, either your associate or subscribe to become a life member, or just outright pay the $750 right now to become a life member. And those funds are endowed in perpetuity that will live on. Even when we have left our earthly home, there will still be students here at Florida A&M University that you will contribute to the success of them matriculating through Florida A&M University. And so the last thing I'll leave you with is that, and I was getting to this point, we have something now called affinity chapters. And so I'll give you an example. The football team has a NAA affinity chapter. So all of the former football players got together. They formed a football affinity chapter. Obviously, they are raising funds and supporting football players and doing things in the name and under the umbrella of the National Alumni Association, but they have their own chapter. They have their own 9 elected officers, from president to sergeant at arms. And so, I want to encourage that, on the continued part of my administration, in which I have 2 more years, I would like to see the School of Business form an affinity chapter for the National Alumni Association. So therefore, you can continue to do the work of the National Alumni Association under the umbrella of the NAA, but specifically for the School of Business. And I would be more than happy to connect you to my membership chair. It's a pretty simple process to get that onboarded. And I would encourage, because I would love to be a member of the School of Business Affinity National Alumni Chapter. It's a way that we can pull this group of collective professionals together and do the good work that we continue to do and support the National Alumni Association. And you will be recognized as an active member in the National Alumni Association, helping us get to 10,000. And so that's my goal and my dream. I'll stop right there. It's an honor to serve. It's an honor to be a part of this great, illustrious SBI body. Your gifts, your talents, your connections are welcome. If you want to connect and can have us connect to some of your corporate opportunities, there are many pathways that we can utilize that without jeopardizing anything you're going to do for FAMU. I'm going to encourage that you continue that. But there's still some other smaller areas that we can link in with. And because we are a 501c3 organization, we'll be more than happy to partner with any corporation or small business or medium business to help us continue to move students to Florida A&M University. So thank you,
That
Dr.
is awesome.
And I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us, President Johnson. I'm proud to say I am a life member. My pen is here somewhere. Yes. I got in there, so you can do it. We have 107 people. I just looked, still on the call. And so we hope that if they are not already life members, that they will become life members, because I know FAMU has poured so much into us that this is a small thing to give back to the university. All right, we have a few minutes. We want to respect everybody's time. We said we were going to do this until, I'm on Central Time, so 8 o'clock. I got kids to put to bed. So we got 10 minutes to answer some questions here. We had a few questions. We opened up an email box and allowed people to send in questions just to make sure that things that are on your mind are covered. Dr. Friday Stroud did a great job giving us a lot of information. Just a few more things that we can touch on. So Dr. Friday Stroud, how can alumni stay in the loop on what's going on in SBI? This town hall is great. What other ways, if we're not on distribution list or emails, or what's the best way to stay kind of in the know?
So we post a lot of things on our website. So you can do that. I will tell you, I share with you that Dr. Young Clark, the Office of Career Development is an office of, was one, now two. So, we honestly don't have the resources to say, oh, yes, we can do a standing newsletter, because I am not one to start something that we cannot finish or keep up with. And we tried that several years ago and we just were not able to keep up with it. But we can definitely do a town hall once every, 6 months or so. So we could do 2 a year. I am definitely fine with that.
Awesome.
So, Dr. Friday Stroud, you talked about all the companies that are continuing to partner with SBI. Can you tell us some of the jobs or some of the opportunities, what industries that we're actually getting SBI students, not just internships in, but permanent placement in?
So the financial services industry, we have quite a few boutique private equity firms that are coming in recruiting. We have a lot of students that are going out with jobs in the supply chain management area, in companies that are B2B companies and some that are B2C companies. So, I mean, you name the industry, we have students going in those, in those areas.
And just to follow up to that, are there any other areas that SBI is looking to enter into? For example, I happen to work for a healthcare organization, and we're here in Georgia. We're the largest privately owned physician group here. And in my role, I actually happen to be the director of paracontracting. So I'm negotiating insurance contracts. And we have quite a few SBIans who are in the healthcare industry working on the business side of healthcare. So are there any other industries, any other roles that we're looking to actually get placement, or SBI is preparing its students to have placement in?
So I would say we have students that are preparing for those as well. So we have a relationship with HCA Florida. They actually made a large gift, $1.5 million to School of Allied Health Sciences, but they are actually also recruiting business majors. And then we have quite a few in the pharmaceutical industry, not just in the sales side, but also on the business side of the house. So again, as I tell the students, we are preparing them to work across all industry sectors. And that means you're going to find, that's why I said we now use the term career partners, not just corporate partners, because it's not all private companies that students are going to work for. It could be a governmental agency. It could be a healthcare agency. It could be a nonprofit agency. But we are preparing students to be future leaders. And I shared with them just today that is why, even though they don't like it, they take accounting, they take finance, they take information systems, supply chain management. We are working to move towards a business analytics degree program soon. So we are trying to ensure that our students are prepared, not just for the jobs of today, but that they will be prepared for the jobs of tomorrow, right? Just like you all were when you were coming out of school. As I tell them, our job is to create opportunities for them that didn't exist when I was in school. So we work really hard at that to make sure that that happens. And I'm very thankful for the companies that partner with us to ensure that. But to your point, I actually will be meeting with a private hospital out of Cincinnati. They're coming down to start recruiting. And so a large part of that has to do with, alumni who are bringing people to the table. And again, you name the industry, our students are prepared and are taking jobs in those areas.
Sounds amazing. Another question: how does SBI keep current or add real world perspectives to the curriculum?
Say that again.
How does SBI keep current, or just keeping current with trends that are happening within the world today? For example, back when I was in SBI over some odd years ago.
And I have you, so just imagine how I feel. But go ahead.
Right. We were on the cusp of working on websites and creating opportunities for people to learn how to create a website. hearken to Dr. Shariat's class, where he taught us not only to create a magazine page, but we also had to create websites. So are curriculums like that still being used in SBI? Are we looking at more so how to create podcasts, or how to create, like you said, we do a lot of B2B and B2C relationships with the career paths. What are we doing today to keep that curriculum current with today's trends?
Yeah, so the case studies is one really, really big way, because companies are bringing to us their real problems and what they are finding, which is actually why we are overloaded, right? Is that our company, our students, they are able to present these companies with solutions that rival that of any ad agency or any consulting firm that they're bringing on. And so again, to that end, that's how FAMU's logo ended up on the Wakati hair brand. And if you don't believe me, go into Walmart, go into Target, look in the minority hair care product line, ethnic hair care line, look for Wakati and turn the bottle around on the back, and you will see on their beautiful bottle the green FAMU logo, right? And so we try to make sure that we are bringing real world problems to the classroom, but also adding the layers on top of that with these case studies that happen outside of the classroom. Some of them, the companies are coming directly to the campus. Others, our students are actually going across the country, and they're competing against other universities, be it HBCUs or majority institutions. And so we try to make sure that our faculty are also getting exposed. I mentioned during my presentation that Accenture is going to be doing training on AI. Like I can't thank Mitch enough and the SBI alumni who are, pulling this together, right? Saying, hey, we want to make sure that our faculty, right, because they're alums, and that our faculty are up to speed on everything that students need to know today. We know that AI is the wave of the future. And so we have to make sure that our students are prepared and ready to operate in that world. As a matter of fact, I talked to the students today about ChatGPT, right, Inform. And so making sure that they know that we're not that old, that we are aware of it. And as I told them, I have my old school mechanisms for figuring out when you use ChatGPT. And I'm not going to tell you not to use it, but you sure better doggone be able to apply what you have learned using ChatGPT. And so, again, we try to stay current by bringing corporate executives, right, to the classroom to meet with the students, to meet with the faculty. Many times we have now faculty and staff meetings almost every other Friday. So if you saw on that scorecard, we do at least 10 a year throughout the fall and the spring semester. So during those times, I literally bring corporate executives in to meet with the faculty to talk through different things. And so these are just ways that we make sure that we keep current on what's going on and that we're bringing that to the classroom back to our students. And then I will tell you, sometimes students bring stuff to us and say, hey, I learned this on the internship. We need to figure out how to do more of this. And so if students come to us with ideas, then we figure it out so that we can expose the masses to it. So it's a two-way street.
Well, again, thank you, Dr. Friday Stroud. Thank you, President Johnson. Thank you, every SBIan that's on this call. We appreciate you taking the time to listen and to hear. I know this conversation actually started over 2 years ago via Facebook, and the fact that we're at a town hall today just shows the level of commitment that we have, not just to SBI, but to FAMU as well. Again, thank you all for coming. We do plan to have another town hall in the spring. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please go ahead and send your questions to our email address. It's alumni SBI FAMU at gmail.com. The information is in the chat. And again, thank you for coming out. Y'all have a great night. God bless and good night.
All right. And I will send you all the link for the QR code so that you all can post that and people can easily make their donations directly to SBI.
Exactly. Thanks, y'all.
All right. Thank you all so much. And I guess we'll be talking
you.
soon so we can go ahead and get the next one on the calendar.
Yes,
Sounds
ma'am.
like a plan.
All righty. You all have a great evening. Now I got to go get ready for my next meeting.
You too.
Good night. Thank you
All
all.
right,
Thank
good
you, Ms.
night.
Anderson.
Good night.